Welcome everyone, this is Zan Ta with Reaper Products. Today's video is an updated video on the Autodesk Accounts portal. This video is to help you understand how to access your Autodesk account, how to look at all of your products and services that you have available, how to set up users and manage the users and their rights of the applications, as well as downloading your software and so on and so forth. All right, so in order to do this, you want to actually open up a browser. I have Chrome opened up, and you'll want to go to manage.autodesk.com, and it will ask you to log in. Now, when you log in, you want to log in as either the contract manager, the primary admin, or secondary admin to get most or all of the functionality. If you're logging in as an end user, you may not have a lot of features and capabilities. Ultimately, the contract manager has total control and it has full functionality. I am not the contract manager for our Autodesk account. My coworker is, so I'm going to log into the portal as him. So once you put in your email address and your password, you'll get into the portal and you'll see it'll say things like, "Good morning, so-and-so." And on the left-hand side, you have your navigation. On the right-hand side is where all that data changes and shows you. You have a search field up here that you can search for anything you want. You have an alert notification here, so if anything, any new notifications that pop up will show up here as well. You have your Autodesk account logo here that if you click can get access to signing out of your account, managing your account, your profile and settings, and your community data as well. So on my left-hand side, you're going to see things like home, products and services, user management, billing and orders, and reporting. And they kind of expand, see? In the middle homepage, you're going to see recent product updates, any support cases that you set up directly through Autodesk, and any products that you may want to buy additionally. And then there are some additional tiles, if you will, that give you things like videos on getting to know Autodesk account, links for different things like activate single user products by signing in, and then additional insight functionality. Okay, so the first thing you would want to do as a contract manager is you would go to products and services and you would say, well, what are all the products that I own? If you click all products and services, it will change the page and it will list all the products that you have in your account. Now we have a lot since we are the reseller, as you can see. And the more you have, the longer the list. And if you have a really, really long list like ours, it will take a while to propagate that data. See? And it keeps going. Now, a lot of you as clients will purchase software, and most of the small to medium-sized firms, have maybe 10, 15 applications that you own. If you're an enterprise customer, you may have a lot more. One of the things that, let's say you want to get AutoCAD. You would scroll down and look for AutoCAD, and you hit this little arrow, which is called a drawer. And when you expand it, it'll open up and it will list what version of AutoCAD you have available and what the serial number and product keys are. Okay, like so. So let's say for AutoCAD, I want AutoCAD 2023. I can go over here where it says View Downloads and click it, and the page will show a little white window, and it will list all the versions you have access to. So you find the version you want, you specify the platform, and then in regards to downloading it, you have three choices. Download now, or click View All and choose Install Now, or Browser Download. If you do Install Now, it's the fastest way to install it on a single computer. If you choose Download Now, it'll download the data, just the raw data it needs to install with a download manager. I find that these first two options don't always necessarily work very well. So I always choose Browser Download. And what that does is it downloads all the installation files and support files as executables. And then when you click Browser Download, it will actually download the files. If there is more than one file, it's going to tell you exactly how many files that it's about to download. Click Start Download. And if you have pop-up blockers turned on, you need to turn them off. You'll usually see the pop-up blocker in the upper right corner at the end of the address field, and you can disable that functionality. And then at the bottom of your Chrome or whatever browser you're using, it should show you what files are being downloaded. Once you download it, you can double click it to extract the data and start installing. That will be a separate other video if you need that. Let's go back. A lot of times people will buy the software and they're purchasing it through a collection like AEC collection. So here, if we expand AEC collection, you'll have to click view all included items, and it will list, again, refreshed, all the products that are contained in that AEC collection. As you can see up here, that's what it says. And so let's say you want Revit from within there. So then you scroll down, look for Revit, expand it, and then you'll see view downloads for the different versions. And again, go through the same process. If you want to download Revit, pick the version you want, click one of the choices for downloading, and click browser download. In this case, I'm choosing browser download. And Revit has 5 executable compressed files, so it'll take a while, depending on your speed. Now, this system only allows you to download 6 files at a time. So if there's more than 6 file requests, it'll hang in the queue, and it will automatically download the next file once one of the files is finished being downloaded. So just leave this window the way it is, and you can head back to your Autodesk Accounts window. Other things you might want to know and understand in regards to the software and the licensing aspects of it. If your software is subscription-based, then it's going to say sign in right here. See that? However, if it is, say in our case, we're NFR, not for resale versions, then it may have actual serial number and product key. And if it's network-based, it may even say generate network license file. That's how we go about the aspect of finding all of the products that you have and drilling into it to download the files. Now, if you click product updates right here, it's going to list all the product updates that are available for all the products you own. So that's going to take a while to propagate, especially for us since we have a very long list of products in our account. If you want to, instead, you can click all products and services, and when you drill into the actual application, say for example AutoCAD, there's a piece of text within that drawer window that says product updates, and it will only list the updates for that product. So again, if I go back to all products and services, let's give it a second, and let's say I go to 3ds Max because it's the first one on the list. See here it says updates and add-ons. If I click this, it will open up the window, the white window again. It'll go to the 3rd tab, and it'll show you updates and add-ons strictly that pertain to 3ds Max in this case. Okay. Also, you can go to the 2nd tab if you have to see how the activation function is for that particular software. It could be serial name product key, like for NFR. It could be sign-on for subscription-based, or it could be some other special mode that Autodesk grants for you. And obviously, you can see what it is, okay? And if it's a network-based, then you'll actually have to use generate network license file, okay? I do have an older video on how to generate a network license file and install LM tools and get all of that set up and configured on my YouTube channel already. It is an older video, but it still applies. I will eventually try to make a newer, updated one, but the reality is it's practically the same thing, identical, okay? The only difference you're going to see between the new updated video for license files, creation, and LM Tools download is the version of LM Tools. It's just going to be the new updated version, but all the procedures and functionality is going to be the same as the older video. So for now, if you need that video and you need to learn about how to set up a network license file and download and install LM Tools and all that, just use the previous video. If you go over to custom install, here is where you can start to create custom deployment images off of the web interface, for example, for AutoCAD or Revit. It's interesting, and I think for the most part it works. I've tested it a few times, but there may be some special circumstances that may not work for you. So you just have to kind of pay attention to the features and the functionality and the options of all those deployments, okay? And as you can see, since I'm downloading a whole bunch of stuff, it's going to eat up the bandwidth a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head over to Show All. I'm going to clear all the ones that I have, and I'm going to cancel these because I don't need to download the software for us for this video. I just wanted to do that so you can see the actual physical procedure on how to do it. And that way it won't eat up my bandwidth. All right, now, since back over here under Custom Install, I can create a deployment image if I want to. I can click Create Your First Deployment, and it's going to list and change the page and show you all the applications you have the ability to create a deployment image for. So let's say I want AutoCAD. I click AutoCAD, and it'll ask if you want to create a deployment image of the latest version, which is 2023, or if you want an older version, pick Specify, pick AutoCAD 2022, one of the two, right? And then go through the customization choices and go through the export choices, extension choices as well, okay? When you're done, you hit Next, and then just follow all the wizards and prompts to create a new deployment image that you can download and run. Here under User Management, if you click By User, this is where you can see a list of all the users you have set up in your Autodesk account, and these would be your end users in your office. And you would create these accounts because, let's say, for example, you have a new employee, say John Doe. And John Doe just got hired, and he needs to have access to AutoCAD. And you bought him a new seat of AutoCAD. Well, then what you have to do is you go over to By Users. You'll see the list of users that you have. You can create a new user, right? You can click Invite Users. And here you can do a single invitation, meaning single account creation, or invite multiple to do batch. Or you can even import from an Excel CVS file. Let's say we have a new person, we call it John Doe, and then his email address, right? And then if you need to, you can put him in a specific group if you have to, and then you would click Send Invite. What happens is it automatically creates a new account. Its account status is invited. It will change to verified once that particular user receives the email and he or she clicks the link in the email to authenticate the account. Once it's authenticated, then he or she will have full functionality of the account. If they do not authenticate the account, they can't do anything. Once you, as the contract manager, create the account, you can click to go into the details of that user. And in the details of the user, you can change the role of the user. It could be a standard user. It could be a primary admin, secondary admin. It has all the rich data about when you created that user. And then down here, it's going to list any products that you have that you can assign to that user. So let's say you want to assign one seat of AEC collection, which has AutoCAD and Revit and everything else in it to that user. You can click Assign. And it automatically will jump one of those to up here where it says Assigned, okay? And then that's all you have to do from the admin side for that particular new user. When the new user comes into the office and starts his or her workstation, they'll go to manage.autodesk.com, they'll log in, they'll go to AEC Collection, they'll go to View All Products included products, they'll find AutoCAD, they'll download it, they'll install it, and when they run it, the first time they'll run it, it'll bring up a white window with different choices, such as sign into your Autodesk account, specify network license, network-based, or input serial number and product key. So for this particular instance that we're showing as an example, it's going to be sign-on based. So that end user would choose sign into Autodesk account. And then they sign in and boom, the software runs. I'm going to unassign it and I'm going to delete the user because I don't need to do that. So to delete a user, click this little icon right here for the trash can and then remove user. Now, if you forgot to unassign the software to the user, that's okay. Because any user that you have on this list, if you delete them and you forget to unassign the software, all those seats of software automatically go back into the company pool that's available for you to distribute out to another user. And then let's say you have a user who is quitting and they have to move on to another firm. Then you would want to go to that particular user's account and you would want to delete and get rid of that account, that user's account on your portal, and free up the seat to give to a new employee. And then also that way the former employee doesn't have access to your portal again. Now, under user management, if I click by product, it's going to list all the products that are available. And let's say, for example, I go into AEC collection. It's going to then show you a list of what product you're talking about. And it's going to list how many seats that are available, how many seats are total, and assign it to whatever user that you need to if you have available seats. Here down at the bottom, it's going to list all the users who currently have access to a seat of whatever product it is that you're talking about up here. You see? If you click by group, which is brand new, which is basically you're setting up a group, and in this case, we set up a group called AEs, okay? And if I click view details, I have no users set up. So I can search for a user, and let's say I search for Zahn, and I hit enter, and see if it shows up. If it doesn't, you might have to put the entire word in, the entire name in. If it doesn't, you can click add users, and then you can add whatever user you want. So I'm going to add my 3 user accounts to the group called AEs. The reason they set up the group is so that you can manage the products and availability of usage of the products by group and not just by individual user. Okay? So that's new. Now, if you're from way back when and you've had software forever and ever and ever, there was a time in which everything was set up on a different kind of a platform. This newer interface platform is the Forge API platform. But when you were, before they introduced this and all the software was set up, it was set up in the older profile in the portal. And so you may have software still back in that old portal. So if you click Classic User Management, it's going to change completely, and it's going to list the users this way. And then you can, for example, go into a particular user's account and click Edit Access. And it will list all the support contracts that are tied to that user and all the products that are assigned to that user. And then you can uncheck a product if you don't need to have that product assigned to that user. So if I want to get rid of 3ds Max single user off of that contract number for this user, I would click uncheck, and then I would hit save. And then the system would update, and that particular user would not have, in this case, 3ds Max. Okay? I'm not going to make any changes to my stuff because I don't need to. Now, because you're a contract manager, and because you're signed in as a contract manager, you can go to Billing and Orders and go to Subscriptions and Contracts. This will list all of your subscriptions and all of your contracts and all of the teams. So you can set up, additional teams if you want to. Typically, you have one team for your one contract number. If you have more than one contract, it typically will set up multiple teams for each contract, and you can adjust, okay? And then it's going to list all of your software and all the contract numbers that are tied to it. It's going to list what team it's associated with, how many seats or tokens, how long is the term, and when does it expire. There's a section at the bottom as well called Reporting. And if you click Insights, this is kind of Autodesk's way for you to get insightful information. It's called Insights, to all of the products that you own and how is it being used, as from a team level approach, from an end user level approach. How, like for example, how often does Dave use AutoCAD, right? And how many times does he use it in the week? And what commands did he use most? That's the kind of metadata that the Insights functionality is doing, is collecting and gathering so that you can work with it. Now, depending on what subscription level you purchase, standard, premium, or enterprise, you may or may not have certain functionality, okay? So just be aware of that. If I go under seat usage for reporting, it's going to list, for us, since we are resellers, we can see the summary, we can see by product, and we can see by user. If you're standard, you won't have by user. If you're premium or higher, you will have by user, okay? And so here under summary, it says AEC, we have 4 and 5 users total in the last 3 months. Products in use, 2 in the last 3 months, you see? So you can kind of get data about that. If I go by user, You can see, for example, here, 4+ days average usage, 4+ days average usage. See? If you go to cloud services usage, these are all the cloud services that you have functionality capable, depending on the contract, okay? And Autodesk is changing the way you're doing clouds by working with Flex tokens. Now, Flex tokens is a thing that you can purchase that is for the users on an hourly basis. So once they log in, they use it for X number of hours, they log out, and that token is used up and it's deducted from your account. So you would end up buying a lot of tokens to use for that particular user. The reason they're switching to this is because you may have a user who only needs to use, for example, AutoCAD an hour a day, or 2 hours one day, 1 hour another day, and they're sparingly using it. And if that's the case, why pay for it to be accessible and usable, 24/7? You can kind of strip it down that way. If I go over here to cloud services by user, it's going to list all the users and who's using the cloud credits. See, so right now for our team, we're not really using any cloud credits. If anybody does, it would be me or Dave or Dan, because we do a lot of demos and things like that. We may do a demonstration of cloud rendering in the cloud, or solar analysis in the cloud, or simulation in the cloud, or things like that. So if I click home, I'm going to get right back to the home page of the manage.autodesk.com site. So this video is meant to teach you in a quick nutshell this portal and how to access the portal, how to get access to all of your products, how to find them, how to download them, how to work with the users and products, look at your billing and orders, and look at some reporting and insightful services and data usage. I will be producing other videos. Like, for example, I said earlier, I will do a revised video on how to download it and create a network license file, because I already have a video on how to install and set up LM tools for network-based installation. Hopefully this video has given you enough information to manage your Autodesk account and access your software. As usual, if you have any questions or need further help, just reach out to me as soon as you can, and then I will help you as quickly as I can. Thank you very much for watching.